Taurus, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late September 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Taurus collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these lovely Tauruses in late September? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Taurus in late September. What's the vibe? What do we got for the Bulls here? Guides and spirit team. Let's get this card out nice and quick. There we go. Ask and you shall receive. This seems fun. I love this card. I haven't seen it in so long, and I feel like I've seen similar things for you in recent weeks when I was using other oracle decks, but just look at that imagery. That energy just feels bright. It feels vibrant. It feels like it's having a really good time. So hopefully this is an energy you're moving into. Before we fully dive into it, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the September subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So again, beautiful color scheme. We got the little unicorn up there. We got the little crystal ball, snow globe looking thing. We got toys. And to me, I just think of leisure, fun, having a good time. So for some Tauruses, I know you're ruled by Venus. If there's any sign that can appreciate the finer things in life, or a little bit of luxury or pleasures, it would be Taurus, right? Like for a lot of Tauruses, you need to do or keep doing something that you find enjoyable. Now, for some of you, maybe you're going through some serious things. Maybe you're dealing with some emotions, or maybe you got a lot of stuff on your plate. Maybe it's work, 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 work. Even if that's not the case, like this is spirit saying, like Taurus, you need to do something that you enjoy. You need to do something that is fun. So if you're not having fun, you need to inject it into your life in one way or another. Now, the only time I see this card as a potential challenge is if there's someone that's having a little too much fun, not taking something seriously enough. It's all about striking a balance, right? So don't be an all work, no play type of mode and mindset. So whatever it is that you enjoy doing, make some time to do it. Treat yourself, my friends. Okay, and hopefully there's not anybody that's like too much of a jokester. But we're just going to leave it at that. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say the first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into the intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my Taurus friends, please. What's happening? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. I liked how it looked at the back end. Okay, the reading was titled "A Surprising Win." And yeah, there was some choppy energy showing up. It wasn't the perfect reading by any means, but to me, I did see a really good result in the end, or just something going way better than you expect, which is great. I mean, when something goes better than expected, it's like, all right, yeah, I'll take that. So hopefully that comes in for you. If it hasn't already, remember the energy could bleed over for a couple weeks, but we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Taurus, please. What is happening in late September? Thank you. Okay, yeah, the fun. Just like I mentioned. So we got the 3 of Cups, another card that like really links into having a good time and having fun. We're going to get them tucked in here. It could mean other things, of course, but I just find that amusing to me that we have that first card, the Oracle, now the 3 of Cups. It's like, oh, okay. All right. I mean, let's see. Let's see how it all plays. Okay. So we have the 4 of Swords, very quiet, bored, potentially. Are some of you bored? Let's get a couple more, or one more, pardon me. What do we got here for Taurus, please? Okay, that energy doesn't seem too fun to me. We have the Queen of Swords, and she did come out with a bonus card this week. Let's get her tucked in by the Celestite. All right, and the 8 of Wands. So we have a very, very dynamic mixture of elements for you this week once again. And I'm not going to say that they're all bad or they're all challenges. Far from it. There's a lot of really good stuff here. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, we have a nice mixture of elements going here. The only thing we are missing is earth. So some of this energy could be a little bit outside of your comfort zone. So keep that in mind. There might be certain things or situations that pop up in this time where it's like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this, or it might bring you out of your comfort zone a little bit, which is totally fine. But as far as elements go, we start off with the water, very internal. That's your emotional realm. Feelings, creativity, expressiveness. It does also link into love and relationships. On the back end, we have a very air heavy presence this week. Now, air is a mental energy, right? Like we see it with the Four of Swords, Queen of Swords, very cerebral, very logical, very planned out, a serious, stern type of energy, and it can connect to communication. And speaking of communication, on the back end, we have some fire with the Eight of Wands, fast, fiery, explosive action. There's a big, there's two big themes I'm already seeing, aside from the having a good time. We have big internal presence with all this energy and a lot of communication with the three cards here on the back end. So let's go through this piece by piece and really start to build it out. Position number one, we start with the Three of Cups. And you see those people there, they're having a damn good time, right? The three people, they're raising a toast, they're having fun. This card gets a bit of a bad reputation in other circles, but I don't always see this and think third party, right? Like, yes, it can represent the circle of people around us. But when I see the Three of Cups, I think of fun. I think of energies that are coming together. They're having a blast. They're partying it up, a cause for celebration. So this is one of my cards, of wins and victories and coming out on top. So again, it's lighthearted. It's enjoying itself. So I'm not sure what Spirit's trying to tell you, Taurus, whether you need to have more fun or enjoy something while you can. That could be it for some of you. Now, the downside to the Three of Cups, again, it could represent a circle of people around us. So we could be looking at someone else's energy. Maybe someone's not taking something seriously enough. That could potentially be it. And yeah, aside from the funky group dynamics, sometimes this card could represent overindulgence, right? So we already spoke about that, finding a balance. Have some fun, but not too much fun, right? Because we have an extreme. Because as we move over from the Three of Cups, which again is win based, it's having a good time. So I see the victories, I see the enjoyment here. Total opposite, right? We move into the Four of Swords, where this energy is not doing a damn thing, right? So this one's out and it's enjoying itself and it's social and it's having a good time. The Four of Swords isn't doing anything, right? So, in its positive sense, it's a card of spirituality. It's a card of rest and relaxation. So, like if you're a bit more of a homebody now than you normally are, Four of Swords, right? If you're connecting to your spiritual side a little more, Four of Swords. If you're taking a break from something or recovering or recuperating, Four of Swords once again. So those are like the main positive vibes here. It's great for healing and recuperation. It could link to sleep as well, so make sure you're getting proper sleep, rest, relaxation. But a challenge with this card, it could be very dry. It could be very stuck. And again, not stuck in a, oh, it only takes some time. Like there's just something about it feels boring to me. I don't know what it might be. So we'll circle back on this. I'm not going to say the Four of Swords is definitely a problem, but when we go from the Three of Cups to the Four of Swords, it's like, all right, what's going on here? That's a big shift. Now, moving to the back end, we do have the Queen of Swords. Okay, so I always say queens represent the internal aspect of the suit, and we already talked about this a little bit. If you're not connected to an air sign, so it could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and again, not gender specific, but the Queen of Swords is straightforward to the point. She's honest. She doesn't play games. There's no BS. So, like all this fun up here in the front end and with the Oracle card, the Queen of Swords is not about that life. She is just, nope, this is what needs to happen. Very strategic, very planned out. She's a big observer as well. So, I'm not sure if there's something you're paying attention to. But the downside to the Queen of Swords is she can be very harsh. She could be very cold. She could be very distant. So, I'm not sure if you're dealing with any individuals that are linking to that. But it just goes from such a light-hearted energy in the front to such a serious type of vibe here on the back. So we want to look at her further. And again, she'll show up when either there's something you need to take seriously. It just feels a little grouchy. Now, on the very back end for the bonus, we do have the Eight of Wands. So fire. You see the Eight Wands cutting through the sky. Huge for communication. So again, with all this communication on the back end, and we see this, maybe there is something here about a message or a talk that we want to look at. But again, if it's action, it's doing something quick. So when we go from like really happy to really dry to the Queen of Swords to the Eight of Wands, there's like a lot of ups and downs here. So watch the internal self for sure. But we could just be looking at a communication style. So I want to dive deeper on all the Taurus. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for my friends. What's happening? My guides and spirit team. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Three of Cups. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Taurus, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's see what that Three of Cups has. Why is the Three of Cups here for my good friends? Oh, thank you. Double threes. So watch for the repeating numbers. There's something really good coming in. I could tell you that. This front end of the reading is not what concerns me. Okay. Again, I don't even want to say this concerns me per se, but the double threes, watch for the number signs, synchronicities, especially repeating threes, because you could see an uptick in that. So again, whether it's spirit trying to reassure you or communicate with you, I see the repeating threes as like a master number and reassurance from like the higher vibrational spirit guides and masters. So this is great when we look at that, especially if you're diving into more spiritual stuff, because there is this spiritual alignment or link that we're seeing in the reading this week. Now, the thing I really love about this, aside from the pointing at the social energy, so make sure you don't overextend yourself in social settings. So, you know, when you go from like really quiet to really social, it could be overwhelming. So if you have like anxiety in like large groups or large crowds, you might want to ease into that, right? Because I could see someone getting overwhelmed. But the Three of Wands is usually a card of manifesting and waiting. So when I see it in reverse underneath the Three of Cups, it's like, no, there's something great coming in. It's imminent and it's coming your way. So first and foremost, aside from all those messages about enjoying yourself and having fun, there's this energy of a massive winter victory, kind of like we saw last week. So there's this energy. It feels light. It's enjoying itself and it's having a good time and it's coming to you. That's how it feels to me. So again, great stuff, great potential. I feel this front end is very claimable, but this is what I really want to look at because that's where the energy switches. Hopefully, this isn't something where it's like you were enjoying yourself and you were having a good time and then it changed. I'm hoping that's not it, because for some of you, like that might be the case. There could be something that you once enjoyed where it's kind of like losing its luster, if that makes sense. But let's go in on the Four of Swords. That's only for a few of you, obviously. For the most part, I feel like for a lot of you, there's a massive win of some kind. So whether it's personal relationships, things that you just enjoy doing, it feels light, it feels fun. Let's go in on the Four of Swords. Why is the Four of Swords here for you? For Taurus, please. I really want to get over to the Queen. And there's just so much energy coming at you, my friends. So we do have the Six of Swords in reverse underneath the Four of Swords. So for some of you, this could be a bit of an advice because, again, I feel a lot of you being a magnet to people, a magnet to situations. And I always say this, there are some zodiac signs that are more inherently magnetic than others. But every sign has its season where things just magnetically come to them. And I see that for you in the short term here because I see the magnetism there and I see the magnetism there. When I see the Six of Swords in reverse underneath the Four of Swords, that is a big return of some kind. So whether it's a person, whether it's a situation, it's like just minding your own business and something pops back up where it's like, no, yeah, I'm enjoying myself to do, and then like an energy just reemerges on the scene. And I've been seeing that for a lot of signs over recent weeks. Like I always see it speckled in here and there, but it's been much more prevalent that a lot of people could be dealing with situations they've already dealt with or taking a trip down memory lane. But aside from that, aside from the returns, when I see the Four of Swords, Six of Swords in reverse, this could be a bit of an avoidant energy too, where it's like, all right, if things get a little choppy, I'm just going to take a step over here. So I'm not sure if this is advice from Spirit saying, all right, Taurus, maybe lay low for a little bit. That could be it. Maybe some of you just need a little quiet time, a little me time. Um, there's nothing here that's saying if a problem or situation arises to run into it headlong. This is more of like avoiding it. So again, do it that way you will. Let's keep moving. So layered. Your reading this week has a lot of layers to it. So again, we have the avoidance, but then we also have a return, and we also have a lot of magnetism and a lot of people showing up in a lot of different places. So I wouldn't be surprised. Just watch out for the overwhelm. That's one thing I will say. Social overwhelm, work overwhelm, just in general. You don't want to overfill your plate. So let's see what the Queen of Swords has. Then we'll do our recap before we get into the shadow. Thank you. Strength. Cool. Cool. So for those of you that might be going through a choppy time, I really like this energy on the back end because it's more reassurance from spirit. Like, you got this, Taurus. Like, don't even stress it. Don't even worry about it. I know that's easier said than done, but strength in the upright, yeah, that's another karmic universal energy. There's this really strong spiritual undertone to your reading this week. But when I see strength with the Queen of Swords, it's someone purposefully holding back. So it's not a coincidence. So again, we do have this avoidant energy in the center. And when I see this, it's like purposely holding back from something. So whether that's advice for you from spirit, or whether this is how someone's acting, where they're like, you know what, I'm just going to hold back for a minute, not forever, just for a minute. That's just how it feels to me, because the strength card isn't bad. It's caring, but it's also a card that wards off temptation. So I don't know who's holding back or why. But another thing I have to say with this Leo energy, with the threes, the people, the overwhelm, the magnetism, and the Queen of Swords, there's just a lot of energies moving towards you. Like I said, here it comes, here they come. Whether it's new people, new situations, old situations, there's just a lot of things moving your way. And strength kind of reaffirms that for me, but it doesn't tell me that it's nothing you can't handle. Right? Like, I feel for a lot of you, you have a good head on your shoulders and you got this. So let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. A lot of energy coming through this week. So only take what fits for you. But if you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have the 3 of Cups with the 3 of Wands in reverse. Watch for the number signs, the repeating 3 specifically. To me, this is a win or victory that just comes your way. So the magnetism shows itself first. We have the big social energy here too. So watch out for social overwhelm. That is a really strong energy, because you're a magnet in this time, whether it's a manifestation magnet or just a situation magnet. Moving to the middle, we have the 4 of Swords with the 6 of Swords in reverse. This could be something returning or popping back up in a pretty big way. But for another portion of you, it's an avoidant energy as well, where it's like, yeah, that got a little too hectic for me, or that got a little too much for me. So it's kind of like an energy that's sealing itself off and recuperating and just avoiding a problem instead of facing it head on. Moving to the back end, we have the Queen of Swords with strength in the upright. So someone purposefully holding back, just like we saw here, it's no accident, and someone that's purposely acting in a certain way. But aside from that, it's just reaffirming to me that you are an everything magnet. So like, here it comes, here they come. You got people, you got situations. Just try your best not to get overwhelmed, because the energy is very intense. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadow. And yes, this is where I pull you a shadow card just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a bad thing, so keep that in mind, all right? Let's get a good shuffle here for you. And yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get you this shadow card nice and quick. Thank you. Ace of Cups, cool. So it fits in with what I've been seeing, like the chit chat, the chatter. I like the Ace of Cups because it's usually very fresh. It's usually very new. It's a reinvigorating type of energy. So in the good sense, this could be something coming your way that you don't quite see right now, or a good result. This has been a running theme we've been seeing for a couple weeks. So this is a good kind of shadow. But let's talk about the darker side of the Ace of Cups. It does tie strongly into the emotional realm, or spirit warning you about someone or something new. So again, I'm not saying someone new stepping into your life and they're going to wreak havoc, but spirit could just be saying, Taurus, just be cautious with the new things and new experiences that you invite in right now. And obviously your emotional health and well-being, super important when this card is here. So we're just going to put it right there. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, my friends. But yeah, Taurus, that's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The September subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you could book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The September calendar is already live, so we could have ourselves a little chat. But for the September subscriber surprise, giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks ever, the Everyday Witches Tarot. It's great for beginners and experienced readers. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the zodiac signs, which ones do you get along best with? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As usual, my friends, much love and I'll see you soon.